beef skillet pierogi. That's what we're gonna make today as another of our $5 recipes for the month of September. It's also gonna get cooked in one pot. So we might as well just start cooking right now. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna add some oil to our skillet. You wanna make sure you add enough because we're gonna put some onions and we don't want it to stick. Let's chop up some onions. By the way, I don't know if I told you, I of course am Annie and this is my tiny kitchen. But you know what? I like my tiny kitchen because everything is very accessible. You just want to cut up your onions, just a nice little chop. That's all. Nothing fancy about it. All right, let's go ahead and put our onions into our pan. You know, there are a lot of cooking shows out there on YouTube and TV, but how many of them cook without an oven? I do not have an oven at all. I'm not here to show you what I'm cooking. I am here to hopefully teach you what I'm cooking, to show you that you don't need an oven. You don't need a big elaborate kitchen to make good flavored food. And through the month of September, you also don't need a large budget. Got some ground beef, that's gonna go into the pan. I'm gonna break it up a little bit with my hands. Yes, I'm touching raw meat because I forgot my gloves. So now I'm just gonna have to wash my hands. Just get on in there and just break it up. That's what you wanna do. Did I mention one pan? One pan is what we're doing today. One pan recipe. One pan and under $5. Once you get that broken up, just like that, doesn't have to be perfect because as it cooks, it will break down even more. Let's go ahead and get some salt and pepper on there. Now, salt and pepper is to your taste. You want a lot, add a lot. You don't want the salt, don't add the salt. You don't want the pepper, don't add the pepper. This one's your call. Anytime salt and pepper is in a recipe, use your judgment. And you do want to cook this until the pink is just about gone and those onions have softened up a bit. So this right here is going to take maybe 2 to 3 minutes. If you're liking this episode so far, be sure to hit that thumbs up down below. Hit that subscribe if you haven't yet. Doesn't cost you anything to do it. This is coming along absolutely perfectly, just the way we'd like. Now that most of that pink is gone, we're going to go on to the next step, which is flour, just standard run-of-the-mill all-purpose flour. And we're gonna go ahead and mix that up, and you wanna make sure, mix it in really well, and we're gonna let it cook for about 1 minute because we do not want that raw flour flavor. You can definitely tell when it has not been cooked out. Now, our beef stock goes in. This is not only gonna deglaze the pan, but with that flour, it's also gonna thicken up into a rich, luxurious gravy. And, splitty splatty. Give this a stir, and you're gonna bring this up to a boil because that's what's going to help it thicken up, but bring it to a boil on that medium heat that we've already got going, because if you crank up your heat, you're going to run the risk of starting to burn almost a beefy flavor, and we don't want that. Now we just wait. We wait until it boils. Got a great boil going, so now we're just going to let it reduce down until it thickens up a bit, and then we keep going. It is starting to thicken up because my spatula kind of moves it around a little bit more than just stirs it, so we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our seasonings. We have got some basil, some parsley, and some thyme, and a little garlic paste. You can use regular garlic if you'd like, a garlic clove. Just do about 2 garlic cloves in there. If you've got minced garlic, you can certainly use minced garlic as well. Garlic powder. Don't use garlic salt because that's going to make this dish way too salty. But any other form of garlic that you have, go for it. You cannot go wrong with garlic. I love garlic. This is what we're going for right here. When you can pull it across the pan and you see the bottom, then you know it's time to add the rest of our ingredients. Peas and carrots. Peas and carrots. Who knew? These are just from a can. You can use frozen if you would like. If you use the frozen, you're going to want to add them in a little bit sooner than we did here. That way they have a chance to cook through a little bit more. Just mix that in. You could also use fresh peas and carrots if you happen to have a garden. Just add your carrots at the same time that you add your onions and your hamburger so that they have a chance to soften up. Peas can go in at the same time that they're going in right now. And the last thing we've got are pierogies. Now, what I didn't have the ingredients to make my own, so these are just a frozen pierogi from my local grocery store, but I have made pierogies before, right there. there's the video for it. I'll put a link at the end for you to check out how to do it. But for this recipe, I opted to just use frozen store-bought pierogies. And you're just nestle them on in there, just like that. These are fully cooked, so they're not gonna take long. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna get them down in there, bury them. We're gonna put a lid on this guy and let it go for about 5 minutes. Like a jacuzzi. Our lid, 5 minutes, and they'll be done. So I'll meet you back here in 5 minutes. That's it, we're done. Go ahead and turn off our heat. And then before I take a bite, because it's hot, I'll give you that cost breakdown as to how much this fantastic meal came in at. First thing we gotta do is get some of those pierogies out on our plate. And this is enough for 2 people, because it is just my husband and I, and that's what the cost breakdown's going to tell you. Glorious vegetables, that beef, those onions right over the top. So before I take that bite, because this is really hot, let me give you that cost breakdown. We started with the ground beef, came in at $1.98 because I do buy it in bulk. The onion was 16 cents. The beef broth was 50 cents. The pierogies came in at $1.48. $1.48. And the peas and carrots were 62 cents. You add all that together, you get a grand total of $4.74. So that leaves you a little bit of wiggle room if you want to go out there and grab yourself a 25-cent roll from your local bakery, throw a roll in there, and you've got a complete dinner. I mean, right now, I'm not a big bread fan, so to me, this is a complete dinner, but I'm going to take a bite now because I can't wait. I've been sitting here smelling it, and it smells incredible. And I don't know if I mentioned, but these are cheese pierogies. Oh my God. Again, lost for words right there. Those pierogies are so creamy. Like, I don't even know how else to describe it. Pierogies are a potato essentially, and these are filled with cheese, and it is so creamy. The peas and the carrots come through beautifully. The onion, the beef, the oregano, the parsley, the thyme that's in there. It's fantastic, fantastic. There's no reason why you can't make this dish in under 20 minutes, one pan under $5. That's it. But you know what? There's nothing left to do but to thank you for joining me here at Annie's Smoking Pot. Take care, and until next time, bye.